Hello, namaste, and welcome to my channel. I am your host Nagesh Nishmade. In today's episode, we are going to discuss about certifications. So, certification can be a trap. It's good for your career, it can be bad for your career. Why so we are saying that? Let's discuss with today's speaker. So, we have a new speaker today, Asmita Pokharkar. She's from Bangalore. She is a solution driven business analyst. She specializes in bridging the gaps between business objective and technology. Hi, Asmita.
Hello, Nagesh.
How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, so let's get on with this discussion, Asmita.
Yes, sure.
So, Asmita, I saw you just recently did some certification. So can you just tell us of your which certification you did recently?
Okay. First of all, thanks a lot for this opportunity for letting me speak on this topic. So, let's start with your question. So, recently I finished my CSPPO, that is
Okay,
Certified Scrum Professional Product Owner. It
great.
was a great experience. I was looking for it. I have finished my basic product owner, the advanced, and
Both.
this.
There are many people who has many certification, but they're still struggling to grow. What might be the reason?
Yes, so I do have the similar experience. There is a one concept called as a paper tiger trap.
Right.
As you already know that our education system, no criticism, but it is more focused on memorizing few things, rewriting them. Not everyone or not the every course is made to learn application of that.
Correct.
So people get trapped into that paper tiger. It happens with me also. For example, I give you a simple example, not the certification of one subject. In my masters, we do have the IT security subject, even for the MBA
Okay.
students.
Okay.
So they used to teach us lots of concepts, different things which we have followed, different standards which we have to follow. We have so many documents we have to go through, ISO and CISA. We do have to write the short notes, we have to present them. But that subject was quite theoretical. I scored a very good marks. But I'll share you my first day of my joining the organization. I don't know where the firewall is, how it looks like. As an engineer, I know, but I don't know how it might hamper my system. So this
Correct.
is the gap. This happens with many certification.
But when these certifications become a distractions in our career.
Yes. What happened when, for example, I'll give you any journey of any professional.
Hmm.
For example, I'm working in particular organization. I started working as a junior level. I'm learning, then the things come, then some other person joins, and it happens most of the time the person with the masters, while joining only they get the rights, so we think, oh, I'm lacking somewhere.
Hmm.
It's not every time true, but I
Correct.
feel, no, I'm lacking somewhere. Should I go for some part-time program where I can get the master's tag, or should I go, if I'm into the research, should I go from some online doctorate? It gets distracted. I'm not focusing on the things which are there in my to-do list.
Correct. More
This.
thing I want to add here is another distraction is during the hiring process. Recruiter, you are looking for a job and then you apply, and then recruiter will say, "Oh, do you have this certification? Do you have that certification?" Okay. In reality, you don't see the need of doing that certification. But now you think, "Oh, I will lose this opportunity. Let me do that certification." And then you do that certification. When you start applying, you do not get any call related to that. So that also kind of things happen. So choose wisely, guys. Now coming on to jobs and hiring and all that, I want to understand why do interviewers, value experience more than what certifications that you hold?
So let's take example right from fresher, then mid level, and the senior level. So let me start from the fresher. Okay, at the fresher level they might ask if there is any training you have taken, so it
Correct.
varies on different stages of your career. So for example, I am hiring for some .NET project,
Hmm.
or I know I want a person who can write the JavaScript. So I will look for um, their specialization in the final year, if they have done some extra training, and that time I will prefer that, okay, that person have finished this particular certification or this particular training, and ask the question. That time it plays important role. Okay, now let's come to the mid-level. Mid-level, I think as after 5 years, 10 years. Okay, now I am hiring for a team. For example, let's get the same example. In the fresher, I want a coder or a tester who can complete my day-to-day coding testing. So I'm looking for that. But when I'm coming to 5 to 10 or 5 to 12 years of experience person, that time I need a person who have knowledge of that particular technology. Plus,
Correct.
he should be able to manage the people having that knowledge. So
Correct.
that time, if for example, I am a top-notch certified 100 out of 100 marks I got in a business analyst certification, but if I don't know how to conduct a training or how to communicate with my fellow developer and tester to explain my requirement, that is not taught in any certification. That
Correct.
totally depend on your interpersonal, intrapersonal skills, your communication skills. I would like to add one point here. Last 2 years back, I was working in Europe. There the language barrier becomes very
Correct.
evident. So in that particular stage, I feel I face that. I can give you one example. I finished my master's, my BA experience. So I know how that requirement is going to develop and how we are going to do. But at the same time, I have some my colleagues, those who have at least half of my experience, but they know their native language. For example, French there.
Correct.
So their work used to get faster. So now no
Yes.
certification. It's their language skill which they might have learned as a hobby. It might be their second language in the school, but it plays important role in their career. That time certification doesn't matter. So then I learned that side by side. Then I observed in my future interviews when I after before and after interviewer used to ask me 100 questions about my previous job, and then used to ask me what about your language skill. Then I used to tell them how much I can speak, how much I can understand, from where I have to get the official translation. So they will be happy. They like that approach that, okay, you are ready to learn. So that time interviewer is looking how much you are ready to learn, how much you are ready to learn something and work, contribute to their organization. So it can be learning a language, traveling to that particular place. So that time these things matter most. For example, now let's go to a senior level. For example, the leadership which we say like 20 plus, the people who lead the organization. For them, it doesn't matter certification. What matters? How well you can sell your concept to the investor, how much
Correct.
private equity you can get into, how much money you can pull for your projects, and you can keep it running. So if it may happen that person is not that technically sound because he might not know the latest code,
Technology. Hmm.
latest technology or latest tool, but he know how to get that, how to explain the ARR, favorite term, annual
Re-
recurring
re-
revenue,
Recurring
annual
revenue.
recurring revenue to the customers and get the money and get your project or your company running. That time, when if that particular company or a board of director is looking for people, they will not ask, are you Java certified? Do you know the latest AI agent, how to build that? But he knows how to get the money, how
How
to
to get the
keep that thing
business.
running. So that matters. So this is why the company value experience, your human skills. Now in AI era, we can see the human skills, coding, this testing. You can run the some code, you can get the script, you can give a correct prompt to the AI tool, you can get the code. Now we do have one more like tools which will make your code production ready. So that thing you can buy and you can get the done. But the human skills to communicate with the people of all ages, languages, how to uh, deal with them, that matters most. That's what.
Great, great examples. Absolutely great. So always, even if you are like, I will add something here. Even if you are a fresher, mid-career professional, or a leadership role, always try to see how can you increase the dollar value for your team, project, and your organization. When you start translating that into the interview, you will have more chances to get hired. To understanding what growth signals matter more than certifications today. Some of the growth you already gave a few of them, but any other
Yes,
growth?
yes, yes. So a very good question and very much valid answers and the thinking insights we need on that. That certification, your education, post graduation, or the doctorate is one part, but the actual growth signal when you can see in any person. So it is. Let's take. We are into the IT industry. It's a production delivery. how fast I can get the done from requirement to make it a production ready. Not only production ready, it should work fine on this client system. So accountability is very important. One of my teachers during my masters, they used to say, you can buy all the skills, you can teach all the skills, but accountability is very rare. That taking credit is different, but if something is not working, delaying, taking that responsibility, finding out the root cause and taking that accountability is very important. When
Correct.
person starts taking that accountability, for example, if there is something not working or there is some part, it happens many times in the any business analyst product owner's life, that some impact is missing during gathering the requirement. We don't get idea of like how much it will impact. So if it is not working, that time taking responsibility, oh, it is missed from my side and I have planned to correct that. So that is a very important growth signal, I can.
Foresee the things, predict the risk. That will show you the real growth rather than just collecting the certifications. Now, we did discuss this thing already, but can you please summarize in short, what are the some of the mistakes during the learning um, people make in their career?
Okay, like the paper tiger trap, there is
Correct?
one more concept. We have the dopamine loop.
Hmm.
Like I would like to connect it through, like we go through the Instagram reels, what we
Reels, yeah.
like, we go through that and we feel good. If I'm an influencer, or if I'm one who is posting, if I'm getting likes, I'm very happy. Okay, people are watching my
Hmm.
photos, and that same dopamine loop is applicable to professionals as well. We don't
Correct. Hmm.
realize that. Then we get we don't understand the difference between the activity and impact.
Correct.
Here I would like to give example of that training budget. Okay, like that every employee have target that they have to finish 80 hours of training. I faced this when the AI was very new. They have some AI module. I have to finish those 10 modules. So I have to, because my appraisal, my rating is depending on that. So every day, 3 hours, I was reading, I was solving, reading, solving. I'm not able to understand what impact it is making my day-to-day thing. We have one that fancy thing, skill hoarding, that I used to do it earlier. Now I stopped doing that. When I was a part of the bank, they have small certification. Like you have to write a 100 marks paper. You are certified information security expert. I was like, wow. I used to put that below my name. But how much I know, I don't know. I just remember that one booklet. I just by hearted it as our so long training of remembering thing. Or for example, in our AI thing, I know how to create this agent. Is that agent going to help your
Yes,
backlog
exactly. Is it
refinement?
helpful? Is it adding
No,
any
I'm
value?
just learning. There was someone is teaching in 4,000. I applied there, but how, what, where I'm using it? No, it
I
happens.
also want to understand, like, I want it very, in short, want to understand that where now this professional need to invest their time instead of certification.
Yes, so they should invest their time in first, as we always learn, observing
Hmm.
what trend industry is going through. Observation is very important. It's not like only learning something new and finishing that thing. Go through the articles. There are very useful blogs. Invest your 1 hour of reading in that. And I always advise, and I get that advice, always keep brushing your basics.
Correct.
I know the trend. Don't go like a blindly that ship
Hmm.
herd, that someone is doing that, I also want to do that. No,
Correct.
understand your own. Now
Hmm.
at this point in our career, in our life, we know what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses.
I want to add something here. You must read a book called The Almanac of Naval Ravikant. So, in that book, he recommended all the professional to invest their time in creation rather than consumer. So, what we do day to day, we just consume. We read articles, we read LinkedIn, we watch Instagram, we watch YouTube. We just consume everything, but we don't create anything. So, like she said, Asmita said, if you're learning Python, try to create some programs, try to create some small apps, which is useful, not just for sake of creating it. So, you should invest your time in these things as well. Now, coming on to our last question, you know, how can you tell if a certification really worth or not?
Yes.
A
So
specific certification we are talking about.
yes. So now we are talking. against it, but it is always useful also. So, first, most important thing, immediate project alignment. For example, I would like to give my own example. My organization was non-agile. They're going agile. They want to follow Scrum, their methodology, all their manifesto. So how to start with it? So they gave us training, a basic CSM training. So I'm aware of all the methodologies, all Scrum ceremonies. Then I start implementing that in my current organization. So that certification is then very much worth, because
Correct.
your immediate transformation need that. Thing, it's always like we say, personal growth, organizational growth, it should be hand in hand. That if something is impacting my life also, I would like to share my experience. This our Scrums thing, that adapt and inspect, it's very useful in my day-to-day personal life also. Or they say, there is one nice concept in the Scrum: people over processes.
Right.
So that I believe in our, whether it's an organization, your family, your neighborhood, it is helping us. That
Correct.
what matters, people, not the process, what you have to go or what you have to do. I always say, if something you have interest, or there are a few of my friends, initially even I was not agree with that. They used to learn some language, some foreign language, just because they like some movies. Or but then I realized the people, those who are learning new language or learning new skills, they never get dementia. Some different perspective I got. So that you, as you correctly said, that we should keep creating something. So like that, we should keep learning. So it's not necessary you will get some certificate digitally or paper, but you will have impact in your life, and you can observe that.
Yeah, simply learn new skills,
Learn new skills.
just apart from your day-to-day job.
Yeah,
Right.
and if you can understand that impact, it is worth doing. Our question, I'm going back to our question. The certification, training, any learning which is impacting your life, as you know, we're going back to initial part of our discussion, activity versus impact. If it's impacting, it is worth it.
Nice. Wonderful. It was great discussion, Asmita. Thanks a lot for your time, and thanks a lot for being such a wonderful speaker.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot once again. So if you really enjoyed this discussion, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye.